Hey guys, welcome back to the Project Bodybuilding Podcast. Here with episode 19 with Mark I think Mark with a Q, I guess, this time around. I'm not sure. Evil twin brother perhaps. And then Jake from Jake Ultimate Fitness here to talk about a variety of topics today. I'm very excited for this one. Jake especially has been salivating, uh anticipating the Dubai Pro. And as I think I said this on the last stream. I said, Jake, let's stream it together. What time is it, Dylan? He says. Oh, I said it starts at 8 a.m. He said, "Oh, I can't wake up that early. That's ridiculous." Jake, do you care to respond?
Yeah, I want to defend myself because, for a guy like me, 8 a.m. is a little too early. I can't
8 a.m.
at that time. I need at least until 10 or 11. I think everyone out there
What
can
time do
relate.
you go to bed? That's the thing.
If you go to bed at 4 in the morning,
Exactly.
you need that extra sleep, working the iron welder jobs, man, out in the deep sea. You have to get that sleep after doing something
You
like that.
you don't do that. You don't
Yeah,
do that.
but I
You don't
do.
really do that.
No. I'm unemployed.
Tenson's out there really doing that.
No, I know.
Exactly.
You definitely take exception to
It's a
some of these
very hard
folk around.
job.
No, Jake has been on multiple vacations from what I've gathered, from what you've told me. You've been doing a lot of
Oh,
excursions.
Yeah, little.
Mr. Vacation,
There's
hanging out, playing video games.
Yep. Video games, little trips here and there, little
Ah,
shenanigans once in a while, just having fun.
You got soft hands, brother.
Yep. No. I mean,
you should have
yeah,
calluses, mountains on your
I
hands
we're
just
from
not.
got out of
working.
a 25-hour unpaid shift at the
Yeah,
ball
right.
crushing factory.
I got a few right there, just a few. This hand, they get pretty beat up after like RDLs and
Lifting weight.
stuff. Yeah,
Oh
no, I
yeah.
mean,
Oh yeah.
but like honestly, all the machines at my gym, and a lot of the weights don't have any gnarling on them or knurling.
Knurling.
So they're just purely smooth. So
That's weird.
they don't cause. I mean, they're all from the 70s. A lot of the stuff.
Well, they do have knurling. It's just not there anymore to the
Oh
degree we're
yeah,
not.
yeah, it's gone. Like, but it's worth it. I like it. I rather my hands not be calloused because it feels weird, but they're still there. Because yeah, I don't mind it.
Oh, are you a big hand holder? Is that why?
No,
Oh,
I I like. I mean, like, because imagine you want to hypothetically, um, like imagine there was someone that was bald and you wanted to like go like this to their head, it
oh yeah.
would hurt the person. So
No,
therefore,
that's not very considerate.
yeah, it's not an optimal thing to do. So if you had smoother hands, it would feel better, hypothetically.
Hmm,
Hmm.
that's
I
very
see. I
interesting.
see. So
Very interesting.
you skipped the Dubai Pro, but don't worry. Apparently, you were in my stream. I didn't know you were in my stream. I know Mark was in my stream because I literally was talking to him. Um, but I literally never saw you.
Thanks for responding, by the way.
Oh yeah. How could I not? Anytime I see someone famous,
Man, I saw you responding to everyone but me.
I legitimately didn't see you. It's weird.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. Maybe my
I
well,
didn't see your comment.
Mark didn't
really.
either.
Oh man.
I
Oh,
I even saw Goat Fitness. I saw like his one that he left.
I'm
A goat
surprised. I don't know
comment,
why.
yeah.
I
Maybe
said
I
like
hate you from my channel because
maybe.
I blocked the trolls.
Um, I said like neckzilla for the win, and I think I said where is neckzilla at? Those are the only two things I said, and I got no response back.
Did
So
did you check the history of the chat? You could
I'll have to go through the
who knows?
replay.
Maybe it didn't. Maybe my Wi-Fi was bad. Who knows?
Yeah, you were talking to yourself. I don't know. But let's get into it. The Dubai Pro. Is it either I don't yeah, I know you guys don't necessarily like watch them, but was it your guys' favorite show of the year so far or we
No.
mm,
Of the year is crazy.
I didn't get it. I didn't get it. I get the most of them. I did not get the Vancouver or the Toronto,
and
but
you didn't
I
get Dubai either?
no.
Mm.
You had the live streams for most of the shows.
Pardon?
You said you buy most of the live streams
Yes.
for really?
Yeah.
Wow. I feel like for me,
Sucker.
like I feel like there's so
Well,
many.
when you see me posting the screenshots
Oh, that's from the live
Yeah.
stream.
of the first,
I see.
that's the only way that I can get them that quick and
I
that
see. I
like
see.
clear. So when you haven't seen me do that in the last few of them because I haven't
I just don't think it's worth it. Some of these shows, like obviously no disrespect to the athletes or anything, but some of the
Well,
shows,
they're all qualified. They're
yeah,
all
they're
qualified. So there's that. You know what I mean? The other shows, it's like one of these guys is going to qualify for the Olympia, and
Yeah.
it's more exciting. So there's the sting is taken out of it.
I
Mm.
gotta say, I mean, to go circle back to Dylan's question, um, is this the most exciting show of the year? I'd say maybe it's like I'd say that the New York Pro is more exciting than this. Same with the Arnold, both of them.
The Arnold doesn't count. I know it
Love
qualifies. I know it
the
qualifies,
Arnold doesn't count.
but it's not a regular pro show. It's
It was
not.
free too. It was
Biased.
free. I did not like the
Yeah, if
background in this
if it
one.
did
I can
count, it
tell you
was the
that.
best show of the year, and I haven't even seen the Olympia yet. I don't need to.
I was gonna say I'm biased because I was there. The background in person didn't look as blue as it did in real. Like I thought that the show was perfectly put together personally. Like it was
The
ran,
Arnold?
yeah. Like for
Yeah,
like
I didn't mind the background.
no, well I was gonna say like for an audience member though sitting there, like I thought the Dubai Pro was ran very efficiently, but the Arnold was ran in a way that it made it very entertaining for a viewer. Like
Hmm.
they're on the live stream or in person. Like they never kept you feeling like you were just sitting around waiting for the division you came for. They were always entertaining you. I think that's something that people forget because I mean, a lot of people obviously just watch our videos and they don't really see the shows in person, but the entertainment value in person is a big thing apart from the show itself. Um, but sorry, what were you saying, Dylan, before? Because I just went on a little tangent.
Oh no, you're fine, you're fine. But I do want to get into the overall thoughts. I did try to buy the stream. Now this is a key point. I know like I say this about every show, but I really expected the Dubai Pro to have a live stream, and they did. They did. Um, in name only for the second day. So I don't know if this issue was resolved later through the day, but at that point, does it really matter because half the show was done? Anyway, on the first day, the show, well, I guess I should back up even further. The live stream was like not announced until literally the amateurs took the stage, I believe. It's like an hour before they announced they had a live stream, which is like crazy considering, the prize money, 100K for the open, biggest prize purse of any pro show, obviously. And
Yep.
we always hear the Middle East cares about their sports, they care about their bodybuilding, and they put the live stream off until the very last minute, and it was $30, but I was like, okay, I'll pay it. That's certainly I've paid more for less, basically. But they put it off to the last day, so I was just like, well, I'll just buy it tomorrow morning, um, and I'll just roll with it. I get it doesn't work. I tried to put my payment information in, and it's like that's weird. I tried with my debit card. I'll try with a credit card. That didn't work. They had three options: Google Pay, Apple Pay, and then just a regular card. I tried Apple Pay. I even set up Apple Pay for this because I don't use Apple Pay. Apple Pay's dumb. Anyway, I I tried Apple Pay, didn't work. Didn't work. And then I'm like, this is odd. I checked the comments on the latest, like, we're live post, promoting the live stream. Everyone had the same problem. So it was working day one because I saw AJ Kelly Robert taking videos of his TV like he usually does of the stream. So it was working. But if you didn't buy it on day one, it seems day two was non-functional. So even if I wanted to buy the stream, I quite literally couldn't. They responded to my comments something like, "Respond to us, forward your complaint to WhatsApp," and I was just like, "Forget it. I don't even have WhatsApp. I'm a normal person." I I said, "Forget it," and I eventually did found I did find someone streaming. I just mirrored their stream, but
That guy, yeah, I was
it,
watching his too.
and then even at certain points, I thought the stream would be done because the stream at some points would just lag so much. I thought we were cooked. Like I thought it was going to be done. I was prepared to end the stream early. I was about to end it and then it picked back up. So basically $30 that I didn't pay because I couldn't, and they put it off to the last minute. Overall, not impressed. Not impressed. And that is just so again, I sound like a broken record, but it's just like it's always something with this. It is always something with this. But that's besides the point. Overall, I did watch the stream beginning to end. I thought it was very well ran. And Jake, maybe you didn't notice, but I did. It was very well ran because they basically didn't even have a finals.
Yeah. No, I
Like
was. I watched all of that with you.
Yeah,
Yeah, it went right to the finals, didn't it?
and I was like, I considered stopping to do a second stream, because that's what I usually do. I usually take a break, or maybe
Prejudging, yeah.
I just keep it rolling
Prejudging
and
was
then
fun.
come back. And
Yeah.
as soon as Open left, which was the last division, they only had the four men's divisions, by the way. They don't do women's divisions in the Middle East. Um, they had the four men's divisions. Open was last. As soon as they went off, they filed the 212 guys back in. No posing routines, maybe a call out or
I see.
two, and they were quick. Finals was over in 30 minutes. And like literally, I saw Ivan Bodybuilding, Nick Strength and Power doing their prejudging report videos, like they always do that. By the time finals was almost done, their prejudging videos were just getting out. So they're basically
Yeah.
obsolete at that point. Usually there's
Yeah.
several hours between them, but they
I
ran them
hate
back
doing
to
that.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah, they ran them back to back, and I was actually surprised. Open, classic, men's physique, but I guess they don't do men's physique. 212. None of them had posing routines, which I get to some extent. And like I said, finals is like 30 minutes. And again, it did. We have to have this conversation. It did run so well because they only had four divisions.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what
They
it
had
is.
physique. They had men's physique.
Yeah, they had four divisions.
Yeah,
212
I
class.
thought you just said they didn't have physique.
No, they didn't have any of the women's divisions. And
No.
in bodybuilding, if you have all the divisions, the women do outnumber the men because there's like five women's divisions, and usually at most shows there's only three men's divisions. They usually axe 212.
Yeah,
Um,
which is crazy. I would much rather watch 212 than bikini.
would you? I want to ask you guys. I asked this question in my chat. Men's physique or 212? If you can only have one, which would you rather watch? I think I know which one you guys would pick.
Well, I'm not straightforward in it. It depends on the lineup for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, that
There's
completely
certain physique, there's certain classic physique events where it's like I'll look at the lineup and
Men's
I'm like,
physique,
none of
men's physique versus 212.
oh, men's physique, period, not classic physique.
Yeah, just take honestly
Yeah,
take.
I don't watch men's physique at all.
Yeah, Jake. I assume you're probably the same. You're more of a. You
so
say you're a casual fan, but you're more into hardcore.
I was gonna say actually, after watching, Mark for a while, I definitely learned a lot more about 212, but I was never really into 212 as much as and I'm not saying I follow men's physique, but
Mhm.
um I watched, a lot of men's physique videos just here and there, because I find it's weird because I find the division interesting in the sense that it's just weirdly judged and it's like
It
why
is.
it's just so strange, but I find the
Yeah.
personalities of the people in the division a lot more interesting than like let's say 212. So I like
Yeah.
Yeah.
a guy like
You
Sadiq,
could say that, yeah.
like you guys know Sadiq Hadzovic or like
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean
Aaron
what
Banks.
yeah, like these guys, if you watch their YouTube videos and stuff, they're just really entertaining. So like and they have very good advice for just how to get in shape and dieting and all that other stuff. So
Windale.
yeah, like if you just if you just get to watch their videos or something, at some point, I guess you kind of get wrapped up into the competition too, and you kind of want your guy to win. So I'd say I like them both about equally. Now I find
Really? Yeah.
I find the physiques in men's physique much more eye pleasing. 212, a lot of the guys, like for instance, I don't know, Angel Calderon. I'm not a big fan of his physique from just the way
Yeah.
that it's right. But then again, it's
Mm.
still very impressive and freaky, and nobody on the men's physique stage can match that.
Mhm.
So I think it all depends on what you prefer. Do you prefer that freak factor that you're going to get from a 212 division, seeing a guy who's under like 5'5", 5'6", pack on 212 pounds,
Well, what do you
or
prefer?
oh, what do I prefer?
If you can only watch one,
Personally, I I personally prefer men's physique because
bro,
I get
that is the worst take I've ever heard. How could you respectfully? I don't get the men's physique division, but how could you sit there and watch that?
I
It's
can't
his opinion, though. That's his prerogative.
Oh
I
well, his opinion's wrong. I
Well, hey, I
know
have an argument for it too, but that would be my argument.
it was
That's a,
about 60-40 on the poll I put out in my chat. And
really,
yes,
really.
men's physique winning. People would rather watch men's physique than
What?
212.
here,
And
I'll
No
tell you.
way.
the
I'll
prize
tell
money reflected that here.
Yeah.
Men's physique got 40K,
Yeah,
212 got 20.
212 was 212 was the lowest.
And when I saw that, I was like, 212's done.
Well, I
No,
was gonna.
I can see the physiques. I can see that side of it, but you got to think there's a Keon Pearson, guys like that. Now, to me, if you look at it as if like there's the way you play a certain game. Like it's all bodybuilding. The
Yep.
way it's played is so generic to me. They stand. That's
Exactly.
it. 212, it's bodybuilding. You're going to see
There's
all
more
the
to
shots,
analyze.
all the
Yeah.
poses. So I can see your side of it where you don't like this guy's physique or that guy's physique, but I guess it's up to the bodybuilder how they present that 212 pounds.
I think the best way to put it for me is that, I think there's a select few bodybuilders that I get really excited to see in 212, like, Sean Clarita, obviously,
Hmm.
Keon Pearson. Who's the guy that lost at the New York Pro to that Ukrainian guy?
Gareth,
Yeah,
Kareth.
Kareth. I like Kareth a lot too. He has a really underrated physique. There are a lot of like very aesthetic guys in 212, but in my opinion, there's very few competitors in 212 that have complete development and aesthetics on that and complete proportions. Like Keon and Sean, in my opinion, have very complete proportions for their frame. Whereas a guy
mhm.
like, I feel like a lot of, and when you're shorter, your limbs are probably going to be smaller relative to your torso. So it's just harder to build those proportions. And I got into bodybuilding because I prefer, very standard proportions, very, golden era proportions. And I don't really watch men's physique, watching it. Well, I don't really care for the posing, but seeing pictures of them standing side by side, seeing them present a physique like that, the reason I think it's so popular with fans is because, who would you rather look like at the end of the
Yeah.
day?
Yeah.
The only reason why I chose men's physique over 212, and because don't get
To
me wrong,
disagree with me.
12, yeah, number one was to disagree with you, but number two was because you can
That's
see
number
this
one.
exact thing in men's open bodybuilding, right? It's even freakier. Like if you want a Keon Pearson, you have Derek Lunsford, right? A similar physique, a similar height, similar, frame, similar proportion, but more mass. Nick Walker as well, Hadi Chupin, all guys that probably could have been in the 212 and or were in the 212.
Hattie Chupin was, yeah. Hattie was 212.
I mean, obviously Derek won the Olympia there. I think Keon should move to the Open. I know
Oh,
he's
he
still
is. That is actually I want to chime in very quickly. He is going to the Open in 2025. I saw it reported somewhere.
God, bro. I,
Um
I was gonna say he needs to.
I'll see if I can find the post, but
Said he was. Said he
yeah,
was.
he
Who
said he
knows? Who
was.
knows? Who knows what the future will hold?
Maybe.
Flex Lewis was supposed to for years, and he
Yeah,
never ended
what
up.
a honestly one of my biggest disappointments out of the recent years actually.
He could have won the Olympia in 2019.
I was gonna say with
I think
Flex,
that's fair.
I think he could have won in 2019, but I was gonna say against a guy like Brandon Curry, that would have been hard.
Peeled, peeled from behind.
The bone.
Flex has
He'd
legs.
make Brandon look soft from
So
He
from
would.
his back shot.
100%. I agree with that. But I was gonna say, I mean, think about what Brandon has. Brandon, in my opinion, brings better shape at his prime, right? I think he has better shape.
Better than anybody, I think.
Like I think
Mhm.
Brandon has the golden era structure and everything.
100%. I mean, you see those big arms and the biceps and everything. It just flows so well. And even his legs were decent at, in 2019.
Front
Um,
and side. From the
yeah,
back, he was
the back
never.
lackluster and the hamstrings and the glutes, but whatever. I think you can kind of like
Yeah,
foreshadow that with that amazing back. And I think that that's the area where Flex Lewis would kind of struggle. Number one in the structure, not necessarily the widest guy compared to Brandon. I
Yeah,
mean,
for sure.
pretty
wide.
narrow.
Look at
Pretty
those.
narrow.
I mean, I would, this is a tangent completely, but I would give Brandon against Flex Lewis, and I'm thinking in my mind like the best Flex Lewis, what, like 2018 or something. Um, I would
He
give
was
Brandon.
pretty good all the way through.
Very consistent, yeah.
I'd have to give Brandon probably the front lat spread. The side chest would be close, but I know Flex Lewis never had the thickest chest from the side. Um, I don't know. I mean, I know
No,
Flex Lewis had a great tricep, but I mean, look at Brandon, right?
Yeah, I
Like,
think Brandon would win that.
but
his
like
execution from the side's unbelievable.
no, yeah, I feel like Brandon Curry gets a lot of hate for winning in 2019. I 100% believe that.
Well, it's because there's a lot of guys that weren't competing.
Oh yeah, 100. I mean, yeah, I think he
Factors.
hate because of
There was like three or four guys that might have been able to beat him that did not compete.
Do you guys
Joey,
think Hadi should have won
Green.
that year?
Yeah,
um
probably.
he
Nobody
could.
wins on their first Olympia though.
No, no. Larry Scott?
Well, that was the first Olympia. Somebody had to win.
I was gonna say though, I mean, I think if Phil Heath,
Larry Scott. Good knowledge there from Philly.
I think Phil Heath 2018, if he brought the same package, even a bit worse in the midsection, would
Mm,
beat this version of Curry just based off the
That's
legs
what
from
it is.
behind.
And
Um,
Kai too. And Big Rammy wasn't there.
if Big Ramy was there, even with like a 20,
Sean Roden wasn't there. Another
yeah,
one.
reigning
So there
champ,
was a
what a
pile.
disgrace. What a
There was a
disgrace,
pile of guys.
honestly.
That's why everybody hated the 2019 Olympia.
The one they stole from Sean?
do you think? Do
I
you
guess
think?
he would have won because he beat everybody the year before, didn't he?
I think it would have been definitely a better battle, and I would have loved to see the battle actually.
Wait, do you guys
Um,
think Phil 2020 Phil Heath could have beat Brandon Curry 2019?
Nah.
No.
He lost a lot of sting at that point.
Yeah, I
His
agree.
sizzle.
Do you think? Do you think Brandon was better in 2020 than in 2019?
no, I actually prefer
Brandon
the
versus
Fuller.
Brandon.
I
Brandon
prefer the
versus
Fuller look.
Brandon. It's a different matchup than Brandon versus someone else because 2020 he was just a little bit more conditioned. He didn't have the fullness, but he
I
was
Yeah.
prefer the
still
fullness.
Brandon Curry against another guy. Yeah.
Hmm.
But when you put those two versions up against each other and you have like bodybuilding in your mind,
Yeah,
2020 might actually you might say, well, okay, yeah, he was quite a bit drier from behind. He was maybe as dry as I've ever seen him from behind 2020.
Mark, have you ever done that comparison? 2019 Curry versus 2018 Sean Roden.
I believe that I have.
I
I
imagine.
must have.
Oh, you
Yeah,
know what?
sure.
Superset Man did that comparison a while ago with all Mr. Olympia winners after Phil Heath.
Bro, we all collaborated. We all
Yes.
did that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Um, I don't. I mean, that was what I think I made that a day
That's the
after.
superset man right here.
I know. He's killing it.
His
What was your
archive.
ranking? What
Yeah.
was your ranking, Jake, if you remember?
I can't remember off the top of my head, but I can try to figure it out. Um, who do you think's the least impressive right away?
Derek. And then
Really?
2020 and then 20 I know 2021 Hottie wasn't in there, but 2021 Hottie and then 2021 Rami and then 2020 Rami. I wasn't a fan of Big Rami at all. I actually think his winning versions were actually some of his worst.
You know, from
Most
a
conditioned, but
yeah, condition,
the
not
other shots, yeah, yeah.
um. I think. I mean, in my opinion, I think Ramy was past his prime when it comes to the muscularity.
Yeah, yeah.
He had a rainier look and a almost, obviously far more conditioned look as well, which is why he won. And also the competition wasn't either being recognized like it was in the shape of Hadi Chupin or,
Hottie should have three Mr. Olympias by now, at least.
In
yeah,
2020, Hadi was off. He just got off the airplane, remember?
And he
Hadi was
still looked great, but yeah, I'd agree. I don't think
The
that was a shoot.
finals, he dried out, but in the
finals.
prejudging, he was noticeably soft, I
Hmm.
find.
I
I
agree.
think in the finals they had him in second place, but he was,
I
so far
believe so. I
that
believe
But he
so.
placed fourth.
he's fourth. Yeah, yeah. Because
Yeah.
he had to
Phil
make
beat him.
ground from that first day of prejudging or whatever.
Yeah, he
Yeah, it
lost
was
too much ground for
too
sure.
late.
And I think Hottie honestly should have won. I think 2019. I really like Brandon. Like Brandon Curry in 2019 at the Olympia has grown on me. But 2021, I definitely would have had Hottie over Big Ramy.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's the year of the Jimmy Rig shoulders. That's what they said. They didn't give it to him
Okay,
because of
yeah,
his.
and we say that, and Bob Ciccarello was like, "Well, that's the reason he lost." But like,
Well, you know,
Big
my
Rom,
hero Bob said that. So
I know, yeah, I know. You take it as gospel. I'm
whether I
sure
believe it or not, I have to
you
say it as
have to,
gospel.
you have
Yeah,
to.
yeah.
But Big Ramy had the holes in his quads by this point. They were
Yes,
apparent.
yes.
The back was also retreating. It was retreating in 2020 as well. And then there were other things like he had horns in his glutes, and I can picture them in my mind. I still remember them. He had lumps in his quads from the side leg, and it's just like Big Ramy certainly had issues too.
Yeah. So who do you think was the best champion after Phil? I'd probably say Sean Roden.
I have to say Sean Roden or I get
Uh,
crucified.
I mean, well, Sean Roden
People
easily
don't
had.
like that.
Well, I think it's. I don't know. I won't. I'll be honest though. I think that 2018 Sean Roden package is better than 2022 Hottie. I mean, Hottie might have had a better back,
I can see it.
but
Not by much, really. when you think about it in the grand scheme of things.
No, definitely not by much, but think about it. Sean Roden was nearly just as aesthetic as a guy like Andrew Jacked. I would say
Mm-hmm.
that Andrew was more aesthetic because
Arguably more.
yeah, well, arguably more. I'd say like a 2013 Sean or 2014 or whenever he didn't have like the distension in the stomach, um, was the best Sean Roden. I know in 2018 his midsection was a bit,
I'll show
protruding,
you the best Sean Roden.
but
It,
yeah, what
my
were you saying?
favorite, my I'll show.
2013, he was pretty good, but he was not as
No,
peeled at
no.
all.
He was full. He was really full though, much fuller than 28.
He didn't open up in his rear lat spread in
Yeah.
2013 for some reason. His lat spread sucked. And
I
then
don't.
he placed second in 2016. The first time he placed second, I think. 16.
Oh yeah, it was right because 15 was
Dennis
when.
James was on Dennis James, I think it was him doing commentary with some guy, and the guy, I don't know who he was, I forget, but he said, "This is Roden's first time placing second," and Dennis James scalded him. He said, "No, man, get your facts straight. He placed second before," and he never really did. So the guy was actually right, and James was scalding him for nothing.
Can I full screen this?
You
Do you
like
guys see
this?
this?
Yeah, it is full
Yeah,
screen.
you like this version of him?
2017 Arnold Europe. You're wrong if you say anything else is a better version. Sim- Guys, guys, this is my
Well,
favorite physique of all
number
time.
one,
I'll have you guys know.
the lighting must definitely be helping out a
Oh,
lot.
please.
No, no, well, look, tell me not. I mean, look at the beautiful background. Just straight up a
Good
black
background.
background. This is
Yeah.
perfect. This is what it should be at every show, in my opinion. But
No,
um,
he's soft. He's off here. He's soft. Way
No,
too
he's
smooth,
not. No,
Monsoon.
he's not. He's, I would,
pretty pretty off, I'd say.
I
Yeah.
can see visible body fat.
are you guys all there?
No, look at the water retention in the
No,
glutes.
no, I think he's big. He's slightly peeled. We gotta reserve our decision until we see the back shots here.
Okay, okay, I'll skip ahead here.
I was gonna wait. Hold on, no, don't skip ahead. All right, yeah, you skip ahead. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's laying on the ground there. I don't need to see
I see you
that.
later. There, hold on.
I'm good.
Wow, you know,
I think,
Roden.
wait.
Yeah, his tree looks pretty peeled there. Yeah, he's got the
you know,
walnut glutes.
I think Sean Roden alone, standing alone, is one of the best bodybuilders. I mean, obviously he won the Olympia, right?
He
But
deserves to be up there with Flex Wheeler.
100%. But I was gonna say, standing alone, his back is pretty decent, like just for his physique, right? I
Yeah,
think
he was just in an era with Phil and Kai and the like.
like if he was
They
here,
were winning on the based on their backs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, look at
Oh
his
yeah, the
belly's
belly
got some
roll.
sort of an
Jake, can you do this?
no, I
There's an
can't.
alien inside.
Inverse vacuum, man. I didn't know they did that.
Yeah.
What did they used to call that the belly dance, didn't
Yeah,
they?
it's a belly roll.
You know, if Sean could pull a vac,
Chris Cormier.
Yes.
He does the best belly dance.
yeah, Sean
Hmm.
Roden is. I feel like he's super underrated. I know a lot of people don't talk about him when it comes to like thinking about aesthetic guys like Flex Wheeler, Sean Ray, all those guys. Even Andrew Jack surpasses him in people's minds, but I think Sean Roden is probably. I don't know. I just think he's something else.
Oh, he's something else, all right.
Jack hasn't proved himself yet, though.
Yeah, that's
I would agree. Actually, he needs to get it
He's
together.
not nearly as peeled. Roden brought that peel from behind.
Yeah.
I was
Peeled.
wise though.
Peeled.
I'd say that Andrew has better shape. I know that might be crazy, but
I don't think so. I don't think that's crazy.
I think Sean Roden has a better V taper, and he's very. I mean, it's extremely debatable in shots like the front lat spread, right? And it's just very hard to judge the front shots. But Andrew, even though his waist might be, it's gonna be sound kind of stupid, but it might be a bit blockier, not as V taperish. It's so perfectly developed, like in symmetrical. Like it's small too. It's just how Sean's goes down. Andrew's kind
He's got
of
a better torso. He's got a better
Yeah.
torso.
A torso heap, as Mark would say.
Torso heap, yeah.
Torso
I
heap.
think the leg length and the arm length hurts his structure
I would agree, actually. Yeah.
a wee bit.
Andrew's.
I'm not saying that Roden has better arms per se.
It
But
is
I
a little
think the
weird.
arm
Andrew could look like a spider a little bit,
When
depending
you
on
hit one wrong, hit the pose the wrong way, I mean, you end up looking like a
Exactly.
spider.
Exactly.
I think it's because Andrew has I don't really remember what the bone is called where your calf is, but
Femur?
yeah, no, the femur is the one with where your quad is. I
Oh.
It's a
think.
human thigh bone, femur.
Mm.
Yeah. But I was gonna say I mean, Andrew just has long forearms, and then his actual forearm muscle isn't attached very highly. And the same is said about his calves, very lowly or highly inserted calf.
Lowly, very
Um,
lowly
Highly
calves.
inserted calves.
but yeah, I don't know. That's why I think Sean Roden had better proportions overall. Um,
He had good calves, Roden, actually.
He
yeah,
did.
Andrew has good calves too, just they're very
They're
high,
high. Very
very
high.
developed though.
Well, they're
Well,
Um,
they're actually
implants.
that's athletes' calves. I
They're
always used to
implants.
say Ian Valier has runner's calves.
yeah,
And he used to run, and he's
If you look at the you guys probably don't remember Donovan Bailey and guys like that, Michael Johnson, the fastest runners in the world, like
hmm
the 100 meter dash, you know what I mean? They break the record, the 100 meter dash. You look at all the guys lined up and they all have tiny little weak calves, all highly inserted
mhm.
because it's a quick twitch. The low
Yes.
calves are slower, used for strength and like climbing hills and stuff. But
I
for
wonder
Mm.
flat
shorter.
running, high calves are what you need.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, I wonder if shorter calves allow you to build like store the same amount of tension in a smaller, range, like
Just
a smaller length of muscle, so you can, burst it out quicker.
you burst
Uh,
it out exactly.
Yeah. What are the
I mean,
torque on those calves, Jake?
um, maybe about 5 Newton meters. Nothing too.
Mm.
It's like you get a higher gear of speed when it's higher. Like your bike, your 10-speed bike, you
Yeah.
change gears.
It makes perfect sense. That was quite the tangent. Basically, I started with saying Keon is going to open in 212 in 2025 is what he says he's doing. So that's neatly in a bow. Um, we can quickly talk about Breon before we get to 212, just because it's just I'll just stick with this video.
Comparison of him next to someone or no?
Yeah,
He
yeah.
looked good. He did
Did
look
you,
good, I'll say that.
did you guys think it was close? I thought Fahid was okay.
I don't think it was
He
close. Fahid was
pretty
okay.
peeled from behind.
I mean, like
Some glute, things of that nature.
yeah, he was. I will say I've seen Breon more conditioned.
I would
Um,
agree.
in the lower body, that is. Everything else looked basically spot on for Breon. And he
Yeah.
must have known this was a much easier show.
Yeah, it was probably intentional.
Because remember the last time I remember seeing Vahid was when he went up against Stefan. And Stefan,
Yes,
in my opinion, blew him out of the water. Uh,
that's
like
hot.
I think Stefan had much better shape, and I think the same can be said about Breon. Even though Breon's not the best in the quads, you know, just look at the quality to his muscle, right? And
Mhm.
the shape he has. Vahid is like a workhorse, in my opinion. I don't really know much about him, but it seems like he doesn't have the best shape and structural genetics, but he worked pretty
Yeah,
hard to build a physique that maximizes his, genetics, I'd say. But
yeah,
a lot of people were saying
Good
the
back.
width. I'd say Vahid said, or people said Vahid had a good back in terms of the width and stuff, but I just think he doesn't have the quality and the graininess of Breon with all the detail. Um, but yeah, that's
Yeah,
just
looked
my.
good.
I don't think Brianna's done either. He expressed at the beginning of the year that he's going to 212 next year and that he's going to do some shows. I want to say, well, I don't think he's on the Tampa list. So that was
I
maybe.
I heard. I think he said he might hop into a show right before the Olympia, like in September, like the
Yeah,
Italy
yeah.
or something, and then cruise 3 weeks. He said something like that. I saw an interview. Um, but for some reason, my mind's also saying that he said he was just gonna, quit now, like not quit, but take a break until the Olympia, or just cruise into the Olympia rather.
And that's a
Yeah.
$60,000 check he got. That is what they give out at the Arnold, and
Yeah.
what they give out the Olympia is $10,000 less.
Yeah,
Um,
70?
I'm pretty sure it's still 50 at the Olympia.
yeah, 50 at the Olympia. It's been 50 for a while, right?
I thought it was 50 for
No,
212.
it was like 30 for a while.
Hmm.
Yeah, I just don't see him going to 212, or I don't understand
I
any
don't
of the
understand it
thought
either.
behind it. To go to
Chris,
a lesser paying
Yeah, 50,000.
division
Said
okay.
where
was at
you're
the.
not sure if you're even going to win a show, or stay in a division where you're actually improving in placings.
Yes.
Well, I was
He's
gonna say,
starting.
yeah. What were you say? Sorry.
Oh, I'm just saying he was losing to the Urses and the things of that nature, and now he's getting victories over these guys, and it's definitely in his best interest to stay in a division
I would agree.
where he's doing good.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
just
100%. I agree. And I was going to say too, from a health perspective, trying to push the size game, because how much do you think he weighs? Like 180 something pounds,
He
right?
weighed in at 185, probably competed no more 7 pounds above, I would say,
Yeah. So
at
okay,
Makes
so
no sense.
max.
let's say he weighs
Makes
like
less sense.
90, right? How like he needs to put on more size from where he is right now to be competitive in the 212. I mean, we just saw we got a preview or whatever of Angel and the I forgot what that guy's name is, but the 21-year-old guy who's basically a freak of nature. Um Breon would be absolutely dwarfed by them in the legs, number one. And I think that moving to 212 would be a very uh ill-advised decision. It would not be the
I
best
agree.
thing to do for him
Don't
because
know why he wants to.
I think he wants to because
I think he feels jaded by the whole changing standard thing.
I think he also knows his body can grow, but
Yes, I think it'd actually be pretty easy for him, even at this age, because I don't know if you guys seen him in the offseason.
no, he
He's
gets big. He gets big.
and he's
Um,
not even trying.
but the thing is, and this is my only problem with that, is can he put the size into his quads, right? Like imagine he gets even bigger in, the back, which would be great,
Yeah,
obviously.
and the disparity grows.
I think when you're at this age in your career,
Yeah,
your genetic
he's
strong,
44, right?
yeah, 44 years old.
Yeah,
I
see,
think
it's too late to grow your legs that much.
well, I mean, you never know. I don't want to say that to him, because this guy's
No, I
basically
wouldn't say that to him either, but
I mean, well, he's proven that age is, I guess, just a number. 44 years old at the top of his game, winning probably the third biggest pro show right now. Um, Albeit the lineup wasn't that big, but you know, I don't know. I wouldn't want to see him move to 212. I would rather see him retire than even try to go to 212 because I think it would be a stain on his legacy personally. But like you said, Mark, why would he even move up? It just doesn't make sense when he's at the top of his game, beating a guy
well,
like
when
you
you
know
think money, it's moving down.
Yeah,
100%.
it really is.
It's
And
moving down.
I would be thinking, regardless, even if he's still good now, like the wheels do eventually fall off, and it's just like,
That's
is
the
it
first
worth?
thing. Yeah, the lag
Well,
size is the
just
first
in
thing to
of the
go.
career of the trajectory, it's
Oh,
just like
oh,
why
oh.
waste time spinning those wheels in a division where what fruits will I even bear?
And
Yeah.
he's doing good right now, I find.
Yeah, just cashed a $60,000 check. He can do this again next year. Do the
I also,
I
Masters
think that
even?
yeah, Matt.
Ramon Dino Ramon Dino has to watch out for this guy and Urs too, come Olympia time.
I actually want to ask you guys a question because you mentioned Urs. Is it just me or is Urs like overrated, like heavily?
Completely overrated.
I
You know,
it,
I was gonna say, I think Urs, from a physique standpoint, I think he has a great physique. I think he has a top Olympia caliber physique, but his most recent placings, I think he's overrated. Like,
I think he's been overrated kind of since the get-go. I never
Whole
understood
time, yeah.
where he placed what was it, fourth in 2021, and then he just kept going, and then now he's like settled in a third. And why is he just like a perennial third? What
well, I can understand why he placed fourth in 2021. It's because he
was
had
the lineup?
in
Was
2021,
it? I thought he even got third one year, didn't he? No.
he
He's
got,
got third
he
two
got,
years in a row now.
oh, yeah, 2022, 2023. But
Yeah.
2021, the reason why I believe that he got fourth was justified was because obviously he's had those massive legs for the longest time now. But he was extremely conditioned, was reminiscent of Chris Bumstead in the entire physique, right? Even the arms were similarly sized and inserted.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Which isn't a good
Unfortunately,
thing. Which isn't a good thing. That's the
Not
thing.
not a good thing in terms of like our standards, but I guess for the judges, they literally saw a younger Chris Bumstead in the making. And I think
exactly.
Yeah.
That's what's carrying him. It's not the physique, unfortunately. I know he looks like they're voting more on the prospect versus what's there now. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you also have to take into account, like, go back up to the picture of him, right? Like, I think he looks pretty good here. Like, even for
Great in that shot.
21, right? Like, look, he might not have the best back, but, you know, I mean, how much better? I guess that would be a good comparison 2021 Urs versus 2019 or 2018 Chris Bumstead. Um, how much of a difference really is there? Because in the beginning of their careers, neither had the best back. And to be honest with you, I think Urz's 2024 Arnold UK version was his best package to date, even though he placed behind Breon.
This Texas State pro, I remember this show kind of flew under the radar. I thought this show was pretty good.
You
I
know, I thought this
I
was
think it
pretty
had something to do with the lighting though.
yeah, no, definitely. The lighting was really good. I think I
Flat
did,
spread doesn't seem as good.
but I think Urs should move to the open division, in my opinion.
I
Um,
usually hate that. I usually hate when people say that, but I this is one I actually agree.
I mean, you look at I watch a lot of his videos because I find him to be very entertaining.
Mhm.
Uh, and he's so shredded right now. He's been. Did you see him at the Pittsburgh Pro? It looked like he could
Yeah.
compete.
And he
Right?
has to be like that.
Like, and it's in it. Yeah, there's no way he can get any bigger because it's the same thing with Breon. He's basically begging to grow. Uh,
Exactly, yeah.
They
and
gave them another 10 pounds.
Not Urs, he's taller.
he's tall. Urs is like I think the same height, like 6 foot, not 6'2" or
Well,
Five,
if you
10
are
or
the
something like
golden
that.
boy, you'll gain an inch every year, just like Chris did.
I don't know though. I just feel like here, can you pull up a picture from him at the Arnold Classic in 2024 at the UK one?
Mm,
Because I know it's pretty, I don't know, for some reason the pictures are hard to find, but I was gonna say, um I think that Urs should have beat Breon at the Arnold UK 2024, and I think Breon should have beat Urs at the
I
Arnold
think
Classic.
they should have flipped, yeah. But at the Olympia, 2 times in a row, I think Breon was robbed. I think he should have been third at the Olympias.
I think it was interchangeable. I really like Breon or both of their physiques. I think Urs is much more aesthetically pleasing. Breon is just more complete though, muscle to muscle. I mean,
You
there's
said
no
the Arnold UK?
yeah, Arnold UK. Look at Urs. I mean, you can't. I believe that Urz's physique was at its all-time best here, whereas Breon's was,
Really?
yeah. I mean, Urs was,
This should have made second call out.
but
He didn't get a very good place, did he?
no, he got
Place
third,
below
third,
Breon here.
yeah, below Breon. But the thing
Yeah.
is, he
Place
was
fourth.
here. He beat Breon at the
Place fourth.
Arnold, Ohio,
Yeah, this
but
was the Ohio. Yeah, he was notably off, and his tan sucked.
and his posing was really strange. He was
Yeah.
posing sideways at the prejudging, and the thing is, he was like flat too.
Hmm.
UK super full. Tan was perfect. Like near perfect peak. It looked like he had put on 10 pounds of muscle. His arms were full, and he placed lower. I don't know.
Jake, you said he was posing sideways, and they usually do that when the call outs are bigger, so they can face the judges, right? I just thought this was interesting. You know I forget what division it was, but at the Dubai Pro, there was literally a 10-man call out from one of these divisions.
Yeah, I saw someone posing like sideways.
There was literally a 10-man call out. Can you believe that?
Yeah. I mean,
That's
that
ridiculous. Like, come on. They
wasn't
were
there
rushing clearly. It was like it wasn't first call out. It was like second or third. They were just trying to get through them.
wasn't there a big call
No,
out
they
at
didn't.
the
They didn't care.
Chicago Pro as well? There was a big call out there too, right?
I didn't watch the full thing.
I just remember seeing pictures and there was massive, like maybe 8 man, something
That's
like that.
ridiculous. That
You,
is so
you can't
ridiculous.
you can't judge. You can't judge. It's
Yeah,
hard
it's
to even
clear.
judge four guys.
Exactly. Like the smaller the better, really. I mean, like four
Wait,
is the max.
look at
Yeah.
Urz's legs there. I know they're already really good, but look how massive they are. They're dwarfing Wesley's, and I know Wesley doesn't have the best quad sweep, but he's known for having pretty large legs as well.
Yeah, yeah.
How big
Michael
they
Dabul there looks pretty good.
I think. Well, he didn't he throw up on stage at the show? Weren't you saying that?
No.
I
That was this before or after the beatdown? He took that massive beatdown
No, he threw
backstage.
up on stage at some event.
Was that the throw up was before the beatdown, wasn't it?
Yes, yeah. Before he got jumped
So he's
at
had a
bodybuilding show.
string of bad luck. It's like me in my drinking days. I was
Jake
throwing up,
jumped him
getting beat up.
backstage at the Arnold.
was gonna say, did you guys notice something about have you guys ever watched Michael the Bull pose? I don't know.
Shaky?
He does
Sure,
not
lots
know
of
how to
times.
pose like at
No.
all. Like
What an
shake
embarrassment.
wise.
I'm
But I
sure
will
he'd
say,
take quite exception to that, Jake.
no, I like Michael the Bull's physique a lot.
I do actually. Yeah.
I like his physique a lot, but he's
Well, you
very
just said he couldn't pose, and I'm sure he wouldn't like
no.
that.
He in the pose he can, but out of the pose he can't. But before we do, last thing I was gonna say, and I completely forgot to mention this at the Arnold Classic when I was making any videos about it. But something I really liked was that he used the same exact music as Cedric McMillan did in 2017,
Mm,
the posing routine.
Dabul did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I thought that was very
disrespectful.
it was like intentional or not, but I thought it was, paying homage to like this, obviously Cedric is a legend. I thought it was really cool. I just completely forgot to mention it though, and I just remembered that. But anyways, back to the Dubai Pro because
Let's get to the 212. Jake,
But anyway,
you were talking about this younger guy. I
yeah,
don't see the hype.
got to
Where
play
is he at?
second at 212.
I think Nasser should have placed second. There's an argument for Nasser beating Angel. In no way, shape, or form. Maybe this
Nasser
guy.
already has a ticket to the Olympia, though.
So
Well, you know how the judges
you're
are.
right. You're right. But anyway, this
God,
Well,
guy,
I guess so does Angel. So does Angel.
he
don't lie
was
to you guys though. These
his
physiques are just so unpleasing to look at. Like
that's true.
I know that might like sound like hate or whatever because I'm obviously a very big fan of the work ethic they have and whatnot, but it's just oh my God, I don't know.
No,
I
this
think
guy should not have placed second. I'm firm on that.
I think he clearly has the best like aesthetics and the shape and he has the best genetics from like that standpoint. But
What
oh
about back? What about the back? What is
Yeah,
it
yeah.
about the chin?
Let's just go post by post here, just very quickly. Um, between Nasser, let's keep it between Nasser and this young guy. Nihat is his name.
yeah,
Nihat. Okay. This
Nihat.
front double. This is the.
it's hard here because I prefer Nihat's arms, shape,
He looks
quad.
thin in the upper body. He just looks less
No, he
Or
muscular.
definitely
midsection?
does, but his conditioning is better in terms of that razor.
Gyno,
Yeah,
Is that?
that's what,
I was just about to say. Is that a couple of fig Newtons that I see?
no,
fairly
that's
large.
why
If
I
those
think
are fig Newtons, I could see why he didn't win. But I don't know why he placed second if he had two big old fig Newtons like that hanging out.
Who would
yeah,
you have between Nasser and what's his name, Nihat, and this one, Mark?
The front double
Yes.
without the gyno, I'd give it to Niha.
Well, the gyno is there, so
Because Nasser looks noticeably soft in the midsection, does it? Now is that not me?
I think it just protrudes a little. I
Me?
don't think he was soft at all.
I think he's a bit
Yeah.
overall though. Look at the difference in the separation in his quads compared to everyone else in the lineup.
Oh, I'll show you separation when we get through some of these shots here.
All right, let's move then. Let's move.
Well, let's move. Let's move. This one, you got to go with Nasser.
Gotta go with Nasser.
Yeah, easily. All right, next shot. Let's go. Let's go.
Nasser is in like this
Can't
transition.
tell. He's doing a hoo-ha pose.
I can
You guys know
tell.
that's a hoo-ha
I can
pose?
tell. Nihat's pecs just don't have that density or the detail yet. And
Yeah,
even
pretty good.
let's compare the apples to oranges. Even in this particular thing, because it was
The hoo-ha
considered by the
pose.
judges. Yeah,
You
the
know it's a
hoo-ha,
hoo-ha.
the hoo-ha pose.
Thank you.
I would have
Thank
Nasser.
you.
Look at that midsection detail. Look at the side leg details. All right, his Nihat's side leg is probably a bit better. Jake, what do you think
Yeah.
here?
Yeah, Nihat side leg is better. I prefer his youthful quality to the muscle.
Youthful quality.
I will say that Nasser, he has that. I don't know how old he is, but he has that old
Old
man
man muscle.
and from a bodybuilding criteria perspective, he'd probably win this. I mean,
Ah,
right?
perfect. And then we can skip the back pose, to be honest. This one's not even
No.
close.
I think it's actually
Uh,
not super far. It would have been a blowout shot for Nasser if his legs were extremely
A
peeled
little
like
more, a little more
shots were,
thick. I
but
think.
yeah, you gotta see these pictures up close to see if
yeah,
Nasser
Nasser's
Nasser
back
wins
does
the
look
shot.
better though.
Nasser wins the
Nasser
shot
is-
across the
wins-
board.
shot, yeah.
unless he's softer, condition wise.
This Nasser definitely
can't
wins the
tell.
rear double as well.
Yeah.
Nihat wins the lower body for sure.
Nasser's got quite a rear lat spread.
Oh,
Yeah.
do you guys see that gap though in between Nasser? Nasser's quads don't look that swept, and his inner thigh area is pretty open. You see that? Like it's just not.
Oh, it's the back, Jake. The back
No, yeah.
last spread. I get it.
Back. You wish.
I have a feeling he's not as conditioned as knee high.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. Two to
Oh,
two
wait.
to-
Nothing's 100%.
It is
but I
not 2
think-
to 1. It's like 4-0.
No, I'm saying you're losing 2-1. Just me and Mark agree, and you don't. Where's the side tricep? Let's see the side tricep.
I think this one's pretty close either way. Actually, I would go to Nasser.
I would give this to Nihat because Nasser is posing so atrociously. Oh my god. I'm a stickler
You can
for
see some gyno, I think, even from these
Exactly. Exactly.
right. I'm a
pictures.
big
That can be a game changer.
and I think that Nihat has the like. If Nasser just, I feel like it's so easy just to stand.
It is. There is no excuse.
Knee
Why-
high has good calves.
Both all of these guys have great calves. Actually, it's
Not
surprising.
like knee high. Knee highs are the
Knee
best.
high. No, I think that's racist. That's knee hot. Knee hot.
How is knee high racist?
Isn't it? Oh, wait. No, that's knee how.
Wow, this
How is it racist if I like his race?
uh, I was gonna say though, I mean, come on, if he didn't have the gyno, I'd give him this shot over Nasser,
But
but
you're giving it to Nasser now.
yeah, I
Nasser's
mean,
got better abs. I
problem
like
is
Yes,
the
that
knee-high's
Nasser does
displays
not
a little bit better.
go that side leg at all very well.
true.
Uh, the tricep is obviously better. I mean, Nasser wins the chest, tricep. I'd say the midsection and the
Yeah,
delt.
yeah.
He win every muscle group, but the presentation's better for Nihat. I'd say it's around a tie, but because Nihat has the gyno, I'd go with Nasser.
Oh, thank Jesus, thank God.
Angel, he looks pretty bad in this version.
He just never can lock out his arm. He's pretty bad.
Some of
Um,
them don't like to lock out their arms.
we can give this one to Nihat.
Yeah, I'd say Nihat because his
I think
gyno is
that
visible and the quads are far. Oh, yeah, look at the quad difference. I mean, you can really see the conditioning disparity. I think that's why they placed him third. Honestly,
and then this it's just the old man muscle, the graininess. I would give this to Nasser. It gets a little closer because he's not flexing his abs, but I would
I'll
give this one
tell
to
you,
Nasser.
I think the reason they gave this one to Nihat over Nasser is because of the conditioning. I think Nihat had better shape, better condition.
Is there a
Um,
video of Nasser? Because oh, here's the video of Nihat. Nihat.
Yeah. Let's see the.
I also think that
Is it gyno or is it just he's got pointing Napoleons?
No,
yeah,
it's maybe a little both.
no, it's
Yeah.
definitely yeah, I know. You can
Yeah.
see it there. But I was gonna say, I think the judging reflects, what happened in the 212 as it does in the open because you see Nasser almost reminds me of neckzilla in the sense that both are really freaky upstairs and have really good conditioning as well. Like not really good conditioning, but decent conditioning upstairs and tons of mass. But
All right,
in the
here's
lower
the condition
body,
from behind.
yeah, let's see this real quick.
Oh, please. That back is soft. It looks like a underdone. Needs more time in the oven. Looks like it's Play-Doh.
He's 21 years old. You got to remember that. Yep.
Okay, that doesn't.
It
We
looks
don't
like Play-Doh after you take it out of the kiln.
No.
Huh?
No.
Yeah.
Maybe like an easy bake oven dessert. Soft and
They-
mushy and
Whatever it takes. All right, now let's see.
there's no video of him, unfortunately.
Why
I
were we
know.
putting ourselves through that?
Wow.
There's
That
no
is unfortunate.
payoff. There's no payoff in the end.
Well, you guys are wrong anyway, so I don't want to.
All right, then let's move to the open.
We
Honestly,
got to
I
talk about the elephant in the room for sure. Um, Jake's
Goatee?
father, Rubiel Nexilla Mosquera. Uh, Disappointment, Jake? Question mark. Did he disappoint you? Because you were excited to see
no, he didn't disappoint me. I was thoroughly impressed, to be honest with you.
him.
Hear me out, right? I think seeing this on stage at any point in time is going to be freaky regardless. It's like,
Yeah.
I mean, imagine you saw Coleman guest
Who taught
post.
him them moves, though, is what
Chris
I wanna
Cormier.
know.
He's been posing with Chris Cormier.
Yeah, I know.
I think that, a lot of people were giving him hate for posing like that. Like, I just think
Yeah.
it was funny. Like, let him do it. You don't see that very often. It's, I don't know. I
There's
liked
a
it.
reason
I thought it
for
was funny.
that.
But I don't know. When you say disappointment or not, I think the lighting here did not favor the darker skinned competitors,
I would
and
agree.
obviously did not help that he wasn't, extremely peeled to the bone. I mean, Neckzilla was not any more or less shredded than in Prague, in my opinion. Similar lines in the quad side, and if you look at any other video where the camera has more exposure, you'll see that he had those lines. This video
I got you.
or whatever,
He did
they
get bigger. I don't know if you said that, but he did get a lot bigger.
100%. Like this, yeah, here, right? You can see, yeah, I don't know though. For some reason, you see like the filters. Yeah, what is
No,
this?
I
Back
think
looks bigger. His
no.
back
There's
is
there's a little more cuts to the quads than in the video.
I
You can
said
see
that in
some
my
lines.
analysis, but I think that it's all
Yeah, his
posing
back.
different, in my opinion. When it comes to like that, the quad cuts and stuff, putting your leg up to the side like that's gonna bring out the hip flexor, which is something we never saw from him. And also it's gonna accentuate the like middle part of your, I don't know what it's called, but the middle part of your quad.
Rectus femoris.
I have no clue. I haven't done the anatomy stuff in a while, but
You're the
you
doctor.
difference, right? You can see that Obviously the hip flexor is really visible, and I really like this look here.
Mhm.
I mean, look at the triceps. Triceps are way more swept than in Prague. That was one of the biggest criticisms of him.
His
And
posing has improved.
yeah, the posing has improved tenfold. But um,
There were
yeah,
some more photos. Oh, here.
Well, the
Yeah,
things
and like we said, he did get bigger. Like I think I want to say he was up 30 pounds. Did anybody else hear that? My phone, am I pulling that number out of my ass
from
or
Prague,
yes?
look at his back. I want to see if you can have a rear double look.
Um, I'll go back to that one. But yeah, that's the thing I noticed a lot actually.
his
Let's see.
back had improved, that's for sure. But I don't know if he put on that much muscle.
It was
Look
a
at
noticeable amount.
look
His
at the
lats are a lot thicker.
Mhm.
that is
I don't know if he. I don't know. I wouldn't say he's as conditioned as he was in Prague.
I think he was. I mean, he didn't have any more or less definition in certain areas. Like he wasn't super conditioned in Prague, but Prague's lighting was very favorable. I mean,
Yeah, more favorable to him definitely because he's
to him,
black, so they hurt him.
like think about Samson too. Samson looked pretty good in Prague as well,
That's
right?
true.
The lighting
It
was
was a.
just very
It was
favorable.
a 2 day show too for
Yeah.
Rubio. So
Yeah.
That definitely helps. Yeah.
he competed the day before.
But
He
I
won
just want
the amateur.
to out like yeah, I think yeah, he won the amateur and then went right into it, I
But
think.
if you look at the pictures at the amateur and the pictures from the next day, he was twice as good.
Mm. I'm
So
sure he can change.
I'm thinking that if he competed the day after this competed here, he would look even better.
That's why I'm a little disappointed because I know he can change so quickly. You don't get to 300 pounds and you don't have to keep grinding it out on the stairs to someone like, someone to lose 5 pounds to him, that's nothing,
Yeah.
right? Like he can just go like that. And I'm sure like maybe he has the world's slowest metabolism, who knows, but like probably not.
You
And the
can't
thing,
have metabolism if you put on that much size.
absolutely not. And the thing is, it's just we see this time and time again. Guys that typically are genetic freaks, they just tend to not control the one thing that is controllable, the conditioning.
I also want to say too, I think that if he were to get some like muscle work, like tissue work on his quads or whatever, I know I must have said this a while ago too,
I
but
think so, yeah.
I don't know who I was talking about. It might have been Rubio actually, but if you go back and watch any of those old videos leading up to the Olympia, like Ronnie, Jay, anyone like that, they would get deep tissue massages in areas that they felt like they lacked the conditioning in to stimulate the blood flow and really bring out the cuts. Now, I'm not sure, you know, biologically how that works, if that actually works or not,
If they're
but
still doing it, it does. That's what I believe, and I agree with you.
they definitely still do. And the thing is, when you put on that much muscle tissue in a certain body part, it's going to be kind of, it's all just going to aggregate together, clump up and stuff. And, he needs to bring out those cuts somehow. And it's better to try something than to not. And I'm
Yeah.
sure if he's out there training with the best of the best, I'm sure they have the resources to get him that.
Yeah, he
Because
was in what was it? Oxygen Gym, which to me that gave me hope. I was like, well, they'll bring him in. He's in a camp. But
yeah,
then, Oxygen Gym was always known for making their guys big.
and not
And
conditioned. Yeah.
exactly. And
Like,
he's literally suffering from big Ramy syndrome.
yeah, 100%. I think he needs to work. I can only imagine how good he would be with a guy like, Stefan,
Chris
or
Aceto.
Chris Aceto. Imagine Chad Nichols. I mean,
Oh,
coaching.
no thanks.
I don't know, man. Imagine basically just
No, his track record, I think, unfortunately, and I'm not going to attack him, but it just seems to me outside looking in, he got lucky with Ronnie. He coached Bonac. We saw how that went. He coached Big Ramy. We saw how that went. Um, and he's coached a couple of others too. And it's just like, I don't think he's in it anymore. Maybe he never was, you know?
maybe not. I don't know. Maybe I mean, imagine Hani Rambod, bro. I mean, that would be really good too. Um, I would like to see him with a top coach, though. I think he needs a singular person and not a whole host of people telling him what to do.
I think he's one of these types of guys that needs his hand held, which really isn't an insult. If you can understand that as what you need, then do it. Like Keon was actually that same way. He would show up out of shape all the time. And then he kind of got more of this one-on-one treatment and then he flourished automatically.
He needs a singular coach, not like I mean, look, as much as I like Chris Cormier and all of that, I think he needs just one person who is his dietitian, obviously the pharmacologist, as well as the trainer. Someone who
Would you
can do
train
all.
him? Would you coach him?
Yeah, I could do that. I could do that. He could reach out to me. Yeah. I would get him to win the Olympia. I know how to do it.
Honestly, that's the thing. Someone should be sending this dude offers because that I know that was a joke, but like if you just tell this dude to do cardio, you automatically have an Olympia title under your belt as a coach.
I was gonna say, I don't even think this guy needs to do cardio because when you're at that, okay, maybe that's a stretch, but when you have that much mass, like I said, you need to have a high metabolism to even get to
Exactly.
the point. So you look at a guy like Samson Dauda in the off season when he's pushing the gear and stuff, and he's very low body fat relative to other people because he's just burning off fat left and right because he's eating so much and he needs so much mass to sustain or so many calories to
Just
sustain
yeah.
amount of size that he has. So I mean, look at him here, right? All in all, if he had comparable detail in the quads that he does in the midsection,
It's
he would
done.
have,
It's over.
right? I think that people, hate on him so much at this appearance because his quads weren't deeply separated. If he had deeply cut quads and maybe a bit better of sheen on his, arms, they looked pretty matte and dry. He would have won the show. I mean, look at him from the side. I recently made a video ranking all of like the best poses currently, the best competitors in the poses currently, and a lot of people said in the comments that I should have given Rubiel the side chest, and so
I,
I don't.
I I agree with your call actually. I agree. Side tricep, yes, but side chest is probably Samson.
Yeah, I just think I mean a lot of people were criticizing me, and at the end of the day, I guess it's just the opinionative
Yeah,
video.
smooth brain take.
I don't know. I can see it though. I used to say that Rubio has the best side chest, but then I really took a second to make the video.
Rami still may have the best side chest, to be
Yeah,
honest.
I put Ramy up there too, but I think I said in it that I wasn't confident in giving him the pose because of his track record recently. And I'm saying like the best side chest pose that could come out like right now. And a
Yeah,
lot
yeah,
of
yeah.
people also said Nick Walker. They were like shaming me. They were like, why didn't you
His
say Nick
pecs
Walker?
just aren't there. Like he looks great as a whole. He looks like a tank as a whole, but the pecs, they just don't have enough to them.
Yeah, great arm, great side leg, but I was doing this based upon their most recent showing, or like if they just had an absolutely insane showing. And Nick Walker never had the best chest, even when he was
No.
fuller, even when he was flatter. And his midsection was never the tightest or the most aesthetic. Whereas a guy like Samson has always had a really big, big, thick chest and everything like that. But
Yeah, he
anyway,
has that Arnold roundness,
yeah,
top to
100%.
clavicle to nipple. But I want to get very quickly. Have you heard about the drama about neckzilla?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's so ridiculous, right? Rubiel comes out and says, I was sick a week before the show. Okay. And he says his sponsors made me do it. Uh, one, that's not their issue, quite frankly. You signed up to do the contract. Like it is what it is. If you don't like it, renegotiate your contract or get somebody else because you can't tell me that nobody doesn't want Nexzilla on to market their supplements. Like, come on. But then and it's also just like, let's not act like you getting sick a week before affected you this much. Like, brother, you were 6 weeks out. Like, it's just like, I don't care if you, maybe if you said you were sick multiple weeks before, but you just said you got sick the week before. That's such a lame excuse. But anyways, he puts out this video saying this, right? He's like, "Oh, uh, my sponsors made me do it," and I know because people that spoke Spanish were saying that is what we've heard. I watched the video, and then he tries to come out and say the people that reported on it, including Generation Iron, who is the best bodybuilder on these pages, it was fake news. And it's just like it it doesn't get, you can't have a more primary source than
Did he,
yourself.
the sickness was fake news or that his sponsors forced him to do it?
The sponsors part. The
So no,
sponsors part.
he was sick. So he's not saying that he wasn't sick. He's agreeing that he said he was sick, right?
I believe so. Yeah, but the thing that he flip-flopped on was the
That they
sponsors making him do it.
I think so what I gathered from this was that I think like translating from I don't know if I think it's Portuguese that he speaks because Where's he from? I don't know if it's Portuguese or Spanish. I don't really know, to
I
be honest.
think it is Spanish.
Might be Spanish because I didn't listen to it. But I was gonna say, when it comes to Spanish, Portuguese, or any of these languages, it's very easy to not misinterpret, but over um over formalize a meaning, a phrase, right? You can
Uh-huh.
like in most languages that's the case when you're going from English to another one, like Arabic or like Arabic, in my opinion, is probably the biggest one because you can say something like casually, which is like goodbye to us, but it would mean like safe travels. I like, you know what I mean? Like I love you, safe
Okay.
travel,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
right? And what I mean by that is that, and this isn't in really any way to say that Rubio's lying or not, because I'm not sure, but
I think he
I
is.
think like roughly the translation is more so on the lines of the sponsors saying, like he's mainly saying that the sponsors said, well, because you're already here, you might as well just do it. And then he agreed. I think it's more so like that than it was that he said that the sponsors forced him to do it. Because like forced versus like, because the words, it's just, you know what I'm trying to say? Like it's these translations are very hard to get accurately when it comes to a native speaker versus someone that knows Spanish versus someone that doesn't know Spanish at all and uses a translator. So, and that's one thing that I learned when taking Spanish a while, like for a while. You can misinterpret things. So I don't know. I think we just have to see what happens. We need to wait for more information to come out.
He gets
Uh,
dropped by a sponsor.
did he get
That
dropped,
I
sponsor?
think. The rumor is it's imminent.
Yeah, I don't know. I
He
mean,
probably does.
because the thing is, when it says forced, I don't think that's true.
I think
Um,
he probably had a contractual obligation. It's not like they were forcing him at gunpoint or anything. They
yeah,
didn't show up to his house, but he probably for sure had a contractual obligation.
I think it was more so along the lines of like his sponsors were basically just pushing him to do it because, and but when I say pushing, I mean just like prompting him to do it because he was already there. He'd been training. He looked decent enough,
Went
right?
shopping a day before the show, apparently, according to Giles in the comments, which is a trusted source.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm not saying that he like look. He probably didn't take this all that seriously because he probably knew he wasn't going to win from the get go. He probably knew he wasn't the best in condition, and he also had all those doubts leading into the show, right? So he probably didn't think he was going to win. It is what it is, you
they
know.
also forced him to get a new coach.
That's what I'm
Um,
that's
yeah,
why I'm saying like I think he had all that doubt in his mind that he was going to come in condition, so he just didn't really care. And plus, if he actually was sick, he probably just accepted his fate.
I do think it's weird that the story came out at all. That's why I do think, unfortunately for Rubio, it wasn't a translation error to most of the extent. It like the story is just a hard thing to just kind of like make up. Like, and I did see the video and I saw the comments, although I didn't understand Spanish, but people were saying, like, what do you mean forced? You can't, nobody can force you, you're grown. And then obviously pages, I've seen multiple reports like this, reporting that the quote is the week before the show, I got sick. I was on medication for 3 days. My sponsors forced me to compete. And he said, what without a doubt, he definitely said something along those lines and then tries to immediately backpedal and says the entire thing is false. To me, that inconsistency alone makes me believe the opposite of whatever he's saying now.
I mean, you also got to remember Rubio probably doesn't speak English, so there could have been a
That's too
translation.
bad.
Like, well, I'm thinking about it too from his perspective. There could have been a translation error from what his people were telling him that all these news outlets were saying, and because I don't know, he might like when you see the word forced. I know that the word, I don't really know what the word is in Spanish off the top of my head, but I think
Forced.
it has like a much more drastic meaning, right?
Yeah, I'm
Like,
sure.
like I can understand him saying that who's the best bodybuilder posting forced, which sounds like something like with physical, right? It sounds physical.
Mm,
That
I see
physical.
what you're saying.
I
I
can
see what you're
understand
saying.
him saying that that's fake news. Nobody forced me physically to do the show. I did it because I had an obligation, I think is what he's trying to say. He,
Got it.
you got to remember, this guy's like, how old is he? He's like 26, 27. He's like extremely young. He's new to the sport and he rose to the top super quickly. And you have all the people out there who are doubting him that he'll never be good. And you have all the people out there
Me,
who think he can win the Olympia.
also
Two
me.
extremes. And he has all this pressure on him. He unfortunately didn't deliver to my expectations, nor to many others.
Well, yours are the only ones that matter.
Oh yeah, mine are the only one because I'm like the judge. I'm the head.
Well, you're his son.
Yeah, I am his son, so I want I want him to do better. But you know, I don't know. I think there's a lot of pressure on him.
And
And
then, yeah, there is, and unfortunately, I don't think like fourth is definitely not where he should have been placing. He got beat by Nathan this time around. Didn't get beat by Nathan in Prague, and that was
I
his.
should have beat Nathan in my opinion. I don't know
Well,
how.
well, I think you. I just think you may be a
Oh no,
bit
no.
biased when it comes to
I
Nathan.
did I did a full analysis on it.
Oh, I'm still working on mine.
I don't know how he won the side chest side. Like Rubio has a better side chest, side tricep than arguably everyone on that stage. Number
That's
one.
fair. That's fair.
I think Rubio has a better front double than Nathan, apart from the
Okay.
quad, since Nathan has better cut quads, but Rubio has better arms now because Nathan's are all torn up and barely separated,
And
and a
then
better
Nathan's
section, in
obliques.
my opinion.
Yeah.
And I'd say he has a better front lat spread too. So there's 4 shots already.
Damn.
I'd say that
Better abs and thighs, I'd say, to be honest.
that's close because Nathan has really good quads, but his midsection is it's obviously smaller and the lats flare out really nicely. But
Mhm.
then again, Rubio has, like you said, he's just massive. And then what's the other pose? The back poses, right? Completely forgot about those. I would give Rubio probably the rear double over Nathan because both of them have very similar looking legs in terms of the conditioning. But look at Rubio's back. I said it was the
Mid.
second back on the stage, in my opinion.
Who is
Over
first?
Beirut easily.
Okay.
In the rear double, in terms of thickness, not
Mhm.
so obviously Bonac would have taken that from the conditioning. But I don't know. Mark, did you watch it? Because I was gonna say, what do you think about that? Nathan versus
Was
next
Rubio's fourth place fair?
Yeah, the close up shots, had quite a layer of water on him.
I guess. I don't know though. I just think that I think he looked
I mean,
very
if you're not there, it's hard to say, but
yeah, yeah.
there was a few close up shots, and I think he was improved as far as that's concerned, like the size, but
Which is crazy. I didn't expect that at all.
I just think people were expecting him to just come in peeled
I
and
think
with the
people were
same
expecting him to
size.
be mind blowing. Like honestly, I still think he was pretty mind blowing in myself. I think he
It's
was pretty
freaky to look at.
um I genuinely believe that he encapsulates open bodybuilding. He just absolutely reeks of open bodybuilding right.
He fucking stinks. This bro, he's atrociously about open bodybuilding.
No, but seriously, like I cannot think of a single bodybuilder right now that's living that's a oh that would beat him in terms of just stepping onto that stage and you just sitting there and dropping your pen and then judging you know what I mean? Like
William
I
Martins.
oh yeah, 44, sorry.
Yeah, number 44. I do want to get both of you guys' opinions. Have you guys heard he's doing Italy?
Yep,
Italy.
yep. Look at that right there. You can see Hunter
I
versus
know. I got Mark. Did you hear he's doing Italy?
Yeah, him and Hunter, I've been getting requests for them
Okay.
too.
Who do you guys have? I have Hunter easily.
Hunter. I mean, come on. How many weeks is that? 4?
Hey man,
September
if he
8th?
if he comes in proper condition, I think Rubiel could beat anybody.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, I agree. I agree.
I think
but
it's that layer of water when you're there
he has that
live.
thicker
Obviously, you
skin.
guys have been to shows. You can see the big difference of one guy's in condition, one guy's it's like, oh, if he had like 3 more weeks or whatever.
Well, here this is the Prague Pro neckzilla against
That's true. That is
Tampa
true.
Hunter.
Yeah,
I'd say that
I think that he was a little bit more peeled from behind,
I
just
will.
based on the pictures that I seen.
I think the light. I'm not saying it was just the lighting, but I think the lighting helped a lot at the Prague. Like he looked a lot better based on that lighting
Yeah, it
alone.
certainly didn't help in Dubai.
Like look at the way
Well,
that the lighting.
the background was so terrible in Dubai.
Yeah, yeah. It was just
They all blended in with the background.
yeah. I mean, at least it wasn't a screen, but it can't be
At
like
least it wasn't a screen. Yeah, that's
can't be that hard to get just a straight up black background, right? I can pick that up.
The hard
It's not
part is
hard.
to convince these guys to
Exactly.
do it. That's the hard
Exactly.
part.
I guess they also have all the sponsors and stuff. They need to put it up there for the promotion and whatever. I don't know.
It was just Oxygen Jim who ran the show. That was the only spot.
Put them down on the ground or down on the lower level, so it's just covering up the calves. Nobody looks at the calves anyway.
I'll say though, I was gonna say between these two, now that I'm really looking at it, I guess I could see neckzilla winning
I
if
mean,
he
Hunter's going to be so much more conditioned though. Like even on Rubiel's best day, I'm not impressed. Like, and Hunter's conditioning is really good.
well, I would
Is
say
it
that right now they're both
Hunter?
same condition. Not in this video, but like right now. I don't know if you guys watch Hunter's like YouTube videos, but Hunter always stays pretty peeled, especially this year. But they're both about like very similar condition, right?
No. Well, maybe
I
similar
don't. I don't
condition, but the
find Hunter
separation.
gets super peeled though.
At Tampa, if he can do something like similar to Tampa,
Yep.
it's yeah.
Hunter at Tampa was peeled out of his mind. That was
Here's
like
him.
the most insane Hunter I've seen.
This is
Uh,
almost this is not this is
you,
6 weeks out from
what I
his
mean, right?
first show.
Like look at the you can see they're about similar in the conditioning. Hunter still obviously has a lot more water.
I mean, similar condition, and Rubiel stepped on stage in his condition. Like Hunter still has 6 weeks to play with.
And that's what I'm saying. Rubio, if he can dial it in a bit more, I'd say that Rubio has a better metabolism than Hunter probably. Um, as evident with the with the midsection, obviously Hunter has some gut issues when it comes to processing food, but I don't know. I'd say that
Well, he eats
Hunter,
real food now. He eats real food now.
yeah, no, thankfully. I'd say Hunter has a more complete physique, a way more aesthetically pleasing physique, um, and a very proportional, almost like Hunter's very reminiscent of like the 80s in my opinion. Like a
Which
very
comes
proportional.
first, Italy or UK? Because he's doing both, and I'm sorry, but it matters. Like if
Might be it.
Hunter gets qualified, and then well, the fact that Hunter's doing two shows and Rubiel is not, I unfortunately can see them giving it to Rubiel at one of those just because.
Well, Rubio also has to be good because remember you have to remember, don't doubt Hunter. You know, he I'd say that Andrew Jack's 2023 Texas Pro would beat any version of Rubio we have seen thus far, right?
I agree.
And Hunter was winning against that version of Andrew at the prejudging.
Hunter.
Yeah,
Oh,
Hunter
Was
looked
he really? Was he
gonna
leading
say,
the judging?
he was winning. Yeah, he was winning.
Wow.
But they ran them through so many routines and
And
posing
Hunter fell apart.
fell apart in the midsection. He was breathing extremely heavily. And I think that's what Hunter has been working on, implementing the vacuum and the midsection control. He's been working on it. So Hunter at his best, in my opinion, is still a top 5 Olympian.
He's
Easily.
grown on me a lot for sure. I'm very impressed with him.
I've always been a big fan of Hunter's physique.
I
And
haven't.
I made a video a little while ago now on the most underrated bodybuilders, I think. And I had Hunter in there.
Yeah.
Because he has it all now. He has his back has come up a lot.
Mhm.
Look at any pictures of it now, and it looks much better than it did even at the Tampa. And from every angle, he looks great, apart from the midsection in certain poses. And I really hope that he can pull a vacuum in like the front double or something, because in the front lat spread, it looks very good, the midsection. He definitely he doesn't really do a vacuum, but it's kind of like a pulled in waist.
Yeah, I think it's enough. I like the look. Mark, before you do the comparison, because I'm sure you'll get around to it, I'm sure we'll all get around to it closer to the
Probably,
show.
I probably
But your knee-jerk reaction, Mark, who's your favorite to win Italy before you really take a deeper dive?
you got to go with the proven commodity.
I would say so. And that's the thing, like Jake, no, maybe you weren't on these podcasts, but I kept predicting Hassan. I predicted Hassan to win both of his shows.
how
And
long ago though? Because I remember I was there with you when we did a Chicago
yeah,
Pro.
I
Yeah.
think we predicted Hassan together.
Oh, it was a Chicago Pro prediction because I remember
Yeah.
we were talking about like Jordan Hutchison and who's the other guy? Robin Strand. We were talking
Yeah.
about place, and we said 4 and 5.
And Hassan didn't place top 5
Robin,
at either
Robin
of his
got
shows.
dead last.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that didn't make any sense.
Oh,
That
hold on, Robin was
It
at
did
the
not
Dubai.
make sense to
Wasn't
me
he?
why he got dead last.
No, that's ridiculous.
Which show at Chicago or
Yes, he didn't place at
Chicago.
Chicago. And I literally slid into his DMs because I didn't know where he placed, but I was like, no, that was a really good package. And then I saw the placings. I was like,
big.
and then I was like 16th or tied for 16th. That doesn't even make any sense.
I think
I'm-
there was just 16 guys altogether.
well,
Oh, really? Okay.
I think
I think.
with Robin,
Don't quote me.
the problem was, I guess, with his physique is that, look, I watch his videos here and there, and I think he has a great personality and all that. I enjoy watching his videos and his prep stuff. The problem with the Chicago Pro, in my opinion, was that he was not at his best. he had a good package, but you have to remember when you don't have the best shape genetics and he's not the most complete from every angle.
Okay.
Other guys are going to beat him. I mean, like I'd say that if he's not 100%, it's very easy for him to fall out of a lineup like that.
Yeah.
Look at what was it, the New York Pro? Where did he place? What did he place at the New York Pro? Or where
This
was
year
he
or last year?
here this year?
I don't think he was
This
at the
year he
New York.
wasn't at
though.
New York.
Wasn't
No.
at the
No.
New York? Oh,
His
I'm thinking
first show was Toronto.
Toronto. Are you sure
He
it was
did Toronto, then Vancouver.
okay?
Yeah.
Where did he place? Like he placed third at one show. Which was that? Was that Toronto?
He got
He got
fourth in Toronto and
yeah,
third in
yeah.
Vancouver. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
I was gonna say the Vancouver look was really good. I liked that one a lot. The lighting was also pretty decent for his physique, that is. Um, but I don't know. You have to look at his physique and analyze it because as much as I want, like, I enjoy his videos and I enjoy him as a personality, but from a bodybuilding criteria standpoint, you have to look at what he has and the flaws and the positives. And in my opinion, he doesn't have the best midsection, right? And the arms, when they're not super full, since he has the torn bicep and not the best insertions, they're not going to look as big. And just it throws off the proportions. His quad sweep isn't necessarily the best, although he has very good condition everywhere. And it's just, I don't know. I think he tends to outcondition, outmass, and really outwork his competition. But
Yeah.
the slightest flaw in his peaking can cost him a big placing. That's the way that I see it.
That a side by side of Rubiel there from
That is.
Prague. You know what? That's from the first day.
Prove it.
That's from because the guy is in the background waiting to come out. Look, go back to the picture.
I don't
They
see
had
anything.
Yes, that is from the day they bamboozled us. They
Someone
need to use
said, yeah, he's getting darker.
that was from the day before. He didn't have any oil on or anything. He looked twice
Okay,
as good the
yeah.
next day.
You see how that
They
guy
bamboozled us.
I was gonna say, you see how that guy JP Cinematography, he said, I don't know where it was. He
Back
said
and glutes blew up.
I was gonna say, go to the next one, right? The glutes didn't blow up. He's just flexing them really oddly.
Yeah, he's popping that. He's popping that.
More separation there in Prague. Even using this old day before version.
I think the reason there's more separation in the hamstrings in Prague is because he's flexing his glutes like that in Dubai.
That's true. That's
Like,
true. He
bum
focused
looks
more on the
bigger.
glutes.
He looks like he grew his butt looks too
like
big now.
He's flexing it up and like not in.
Like
He's
how
not,
Samson Dowda does in the yeah.
or like how you ever see Mike Sommerfeld, I think he does
He does that. I don't like that. He does the Wesley Vissers thing where he bows the leg out and then I hate that. You guys have no
Lucas
hamstrings and
Oswald.
adductors to begin with. Stop doing that.
Yeah. Anyways.
Lucas Oswald.
Yes, Luke. I don't know.
He's starting to look like Luke. He's starting to
Jake
look
doesn't
like
know who
that.
that is. It's before his time.
Yeah, before my time.
Do you really
All right.
not know who Lucas is?
I've heard about him, and you guys must have pulled him up at some point, but I don't. I'm not the biggest.
The Ash's arm doesn't look too bad for a torn bicep.
No, it doesn't.
You know.
Not. But
This pose is the best I've seen it, to be honest. And the other poses I looked today because I put a slideshow together. It was not that good.
It looked worse, I think, the year before last when he was winning like Europa, and
I'd agree with that.
He won a few shows. It was like freshly torn. I think because they
just
get worse. They really do. They get worse.
I think last year though, I don't know if it was freshly torn or not. I can't remember, but I just know that Nathan was not as big last year. He really worked, I think, this year to put on size. Bring like the biggest Nathan to the stage.
That's what I noticed.
I think he knows it's coming to an end as a plan. Like he's going to retire at a certain age. He's not going to keep going till he's.
How old is he? Like 38?
He's in his late 30s, I would believe. I've been watching him for quite a few years, so.
I like Nathan as a person. I think he's a really funny guy. You know, he says
I hate Nathan. I thought you hated Nathan too.
Really? Do you hate Nathan? Seriously?
My most, if I made a list of my most hated bodybuilders, 1, 2, and 3 would be Nathan.
Well, here's the thing. I think he has such
That's crazy.
And then Bob Ciccarello.
I'm gonna make a video of bodybuilding's sore losers.
It would be Nathan.
There's gonna be a bunch of them. Even to get a jerk knee, like just a reaction, like when you don't win, just to be upset. That could put you onto the video. And Nathan always upset when he doesn't.
Nathan throws fits. He does.
Frank Zane number 1.
Frank
Hottie,
Zane,
maybe.
crazy. I
No,
think.
Frank Zane threw his trophy and
Oh,
broke
you.
it.
Well, it was
So,
backstage though versus Hottie doing a public
Well, there's
display.
that. There's that. Yeah. But if it was nowadays, they would have had that backstage on footage.
I
They would have
wish.
had
yeah,
that on footage.
I'm trying to think
Yeah.
about who else was a
He
sore
did
loser.
walk off though. As soon as they all walked off, only
Mike Mincer.
Tom,
Mike Mincer literally retired because he lost.
Uh,
they boycotted the next year too. Frank
Oh,
Zane
he was a
boycotted the
done.
next.
do any of you guys know how Samir
Came
Banu
back though.
was after he lost in '84, placing what, like fifth?
Why
Going
was there a story? Is there a story there?
I don't know. I'm just wondering because I think that's the worst
He-
Olympia.
No, Smear's usually like a kind
I
of
don't
happy
think he
guy.
competed the next year, did he?
Oh,
He
he did in
competed.
'84.
He
He
competed
did.
like up until the
Yeah,
90s.
I
80
know, but I thought he took 1 year off, but I'm probably wrong.
No, no,
But
no.
yeah, he was nowhere near the condition.
Yeah, he
Nowhere
was
near the condition.
big.
And
Uh,
the lineup was different, and it was just a different.
had
We
Lee
had a
Haney.
champion now. We had Lee Haney as champion. We had a mold to see,
Mid.
okay, this is the champion.
Lee Labrada better.
I think Lee Haney is like
Brada,
Lee
that
Haney's.
little thing.
Oh, I want to tell him you
That's what
said that.
Haney. That's what. No, that's what I would say if I was Haney.
Um,
He
I
can't
just
beat me with that little man.
Lee Haney was easily, in my opinion, like I don't know, just he's got. I should have put him on the underrated bodybuilders list because
yeah, I think that's a safe bet.
nobody talks about him. Eight
I'd put
time.
Lee Labrada.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think Lee LeBron. I actually don't even remember who I had. Lee LeBron is definitely up there though with the aesthetics. I think I must have had him on like top
Maybe you
10.
could put. Have you ever heard of Ronnie Coleman?
Yeah, I think he's a bit underrated too.
I think so too.
Like because obviously Lee Haney is the most renowned bodybuilder, 8 Olympia titles.
You know who
Everyone.
has Mark?
Coleman is underrated and overrated.
You know the
Really?
most Olympia titles isn't even held by a man.
Yeah,
I
it's a
know, I like 10.
woman.
Iris Kyle.
Everybody. Yeah, but we're talking Mr. Olympia.
We're talking
No, but
bodybuilding
Ronnie-
here, Mark
Ronnie
says.
is
We're talking
underrated.
about the real thing, Mark says.
He is underrated and he is overrated.
Ronnie,
It's
as in like,
possible.
we understand he's.
Ronnie Coleman.
I'd put Phil Heath on that
2002,
list.
people say, oh, he was the worst bodybuilder of all time, 2002, because he wasn't the best. That 2002 Ronnie Coleman would still whoop anybody's butt.
Yeah,
So he's underrated.
Jake,
look
I'd
at-
put
underrated.
Phil. I'd put Phil on your list. I know like he's like 7-time Mr. Olympia, but like for what he is, I would say he is pretty underrated.
I mean, if we're throwing out these names, might as well put Dorian Yates and Arnold Schwarzenegger up there
No,
too.
in fact, the more I look at
Dorian's way
Dorian,
overrated.
I would say so, unfortunately. As my favorite bodybuilder, yeah.
His
You know-
lineage is 1 year he was great. 1 year. But,
Which
I
one
mean,
would you say?
terabized that-
93?
93.
I think
Bicep.
92 and 93 are pretty good. Weaker lineups those
Oh.
years, though.
92,
well-
he was 30 pounds lighter.
But he was shredded.
Peeled? He was even just as peeled. 93, I would suggest.
No.
And what would you say 95 was good? 96?
I just did a ranking video on.
the
Is he-
bicep.
I'd say
It's bodybuilding.
Jake,
I
you did a ranking?
yeah on all of Dorian's physiques. I actually just did a.
And they were
ranking.
all last.
I did. I did.
96 was good. 96, 95. Then
Which one was
90.
your best, Jake?
I had from worst to best. I think I had
97 for
I
sure
had
is the worst.
97, but I was actually debating between 97 and 94 prejudging. 97 though,
Oh, yeah. 97
I-
was a little bit more banged up.
Yeah.
97 pretty bad in
No,
terms of
97 was probably perhaps the worst winning Olympia physique for modern times.
I
What
disagree.
about Chris Dickerson?
Yeah, well, modern.
Yeah, modern. I mean,
I disagree.
Hey, I was born. I was born.
Wow, wow, Dylan, what are you trying to say there? That he's old, man? He's not.
No,
old. He's-
no.
I was one. I was one when Dickerson.
Oh, were you
won the
there?
title.
Were you Sergio, the baby Sergio Oliva
Or
held up?
no. Yes, I was one. No, that was 84.
Mm.
I'm gonna say though, what is it called? That's a debate to be had because you can talk about this till the end of time. Did Dorian deserve 1997?
No.
I think a lot of people say no. Look at video footage of 97. Pictures do not do Dorian justice from 97.
Does he get better or worse with video?
Much, much better.
Okay.
Much
Peeled.
better. Like it is
See-through skin from behind.
like
That's
even front. Dorian in pictures, like I know Mark, you must know the picture, right? The famous one where he's doing the front lat spread in 97 where his midsection is all bloated out of proportion.
Yeah.
You know the one I'm talking about?
Maybe.
It's I've
Be
seen you
next to Nasser.
Yeah. I've seen you use the picture a couple of times in your videos. But regardless of the point, all the pictures of him in the front make him look like he's completely terrible. And that is completely fair in like the front double, right? But the ab and
Absolutely.
thigh, he was still good when he was in the pose. His midsection was a bit bloated due to the GH and stuff like that, but in the pose, his abs were still there. Everything was decent. Front lat spread was a blowout shot compared to Nasser. Um, his quads were at their all-time biggest. Same with the calves, and from behind, glutes and hamstrings were peeled to the bone. Back was at its best as well, and Nasser was not conditioned from behind.
He never was. He always like had that watery look to his back.
And pictures don't do Dorian justice because in the pictures it makes Nasser look like he's similarly conditioned because you can't see the details of Dorian. They get washed out either due to the lighting or the camera is just not the best quality. Um, but like I said, I'm thinking about, video footage really helps Dorian a lot. And I'm thinking about doing a video, but I think Superset Man did one a while ago, so I don't want to
So
be. I don't know. He must have done a good job explaining it. I think I watched it a little while ago.
hmm.
Um,
I do want to kind of wrap this up. What did you guys think? We'll go one by one. Jake, what did you think about the results? One, two, and three. Nathan took third. That's not what I was expecting as I was watching it. But it was clear to me that Beirut should have won, and I definitely agree with it. And it was a perfect score on the scorecard. Um, do you agree with the top three? Well, I guess not because we talked about neckzilla maybe swapping on Nathan. But what do you think?
no, I honestly agree with the top three and the top four. I think it was fair the entire show. Even though I could have had Nathan and Nexilla switching, I still think that Nathan, on paper, more conditioned, more proportional and balanced, and therefore, he could have deserved the win, in this
Mhm.
case. Now, in the prejudging, and I know it's basically all the same thing because it happened
Yeah,
back.
yeah.
When I saw Beirut's first step out and I saw the first pictures and stuff, I thought Beirut's was, a little bit off compared to his last showings. His quads looked a lot less separated than I've seen them in the past. And even from behind, his back didn't look as dry and hard as I've seen it. And Bonac really impressed me when he stepped out on
Yes.
stage.
Yes.
Bonac looked at his all-time best. I remember,
All time.
okay, not you know what I mean, like
Sorry.
just
Continue.
shredded to the bone. Um,
Yes.
he also it almost looked like he look at the side chest, right? I thought that he almost fixed his posing of the side leg a little bit in the side chest, showcasing a lot more hamstring drop than before.
He definitely learned a couple of things from the past two shows. I think this was one of his better peaks. I think maybe the best.
I think he peaked to the best here. However, I will say I don't know if it was this show or at the last show he did, but I think his quad separation wasn't the best or the quad fullness. It was
But they were smaller at Portugal. Like at Portugal, his last show, they were like he was flat.
yeah, you can see here, right? Look at the separation. It wasn't the
Yeah.
but I will say when he did lock them out, and he really like because at some points he kind of forgot to lock them out. Here you can see they are not the deepest cuts and things like that, but still very shredded. In my opinion, it's close between him and Nathan, but I prefer the proportions and the shape and flow of Bonak's legs. Now, I could have seen Bonak winning this show personally.
I thought they were going to go that way because he was staying in the middle a lot.
I thought that too. I think Bonak, just from the front double alone, I think his waist looks better than it did even at the M Pro Spain. I think he's really controlling it and it has a lot more detail. Arms are much better. Arms are really full now, and the biceps are great. Um, and I mean, I would give Bonak the front double over Beirut. I'd probably give him the rear double as well, maybe just for that
But he
detail.
has some glaring flaws that Beirut's didn't quite have to that extent. The quads, but like the waist on Bonac, and that was my two
Yeah,
cents.
yeah. Bonak is just not as aesthetic. It's as simple as that, right?
Yeah.
Like Beirut is a bigger guy, taller guy, looks even more dense in certain areas. His only real flaw are the legs and the conditioning frontally from the legs. But then
Yes.
again, he looks very aesthetic as well. Um, and he has some killer shots. Like the rear double when he's on is mind blowing. The front lat spread, I think, is one of his better poses as well. The side shots, if you go to the side tricep, I think he brought it up significantly. Uh,
Beirut's or Bonac.
he he
Yes.
was
Yes.
for so much in the other shows.
I still think he can flex down the abs a little bit and it'd be perfect.
Definitely, I agree. I agree.
Maybe
But
one of the best in the current circuit.
yeah, I still think that he shouldn't squat down as low. I think
He
of
does. Yeah.
be a little bit better because you can still get that much hamstring drop. Just it's not as the leg isn't at that angle. But I still think he looks really thick and impressive here. But I probably would still go with Bonac, and I think that's what I did.
And
Bonac really good.
okay. And then Mark, do you agree with the 1, 2, 3, and 4? And 4.
Yeah.
A man of
Yeah,
few words. A man.
it's close enough where I could have. I don't know if they had given it to Nathan, I would have been pretty surprised. I think,
I would
but
not have been
Bonac,
surprised with Bonac.
I could have seen them. But I did the prejudging video or what have you, and just by how they placed them, I figured that Nathan was getting third because they put him in the center first. Then they put
Mm,
Bonac in the center, and I'm like, okay, Bonac's second, and they put Beirut in the center at the final. I'm like, okay, Beirut won it.
okay.
So it wasn't because I thought that way. That's why I said I think Beirut is going to win.
Tyler did his break. I think Tyler will give us a breakdown of this, and I can't wait to hear that because it's. Although I agree, it was very close, so I'm interested to hear. But he was at the show. I'm anticipating a recap from him. I don't know if you guys watch those. Do you guys watch those?
Sometimes
Some-
when it's close and it's worth it, and I want to know, but
Okay. Well, I react to them. I watch every one of them.
Yeah. Most of the time I watch them later. I try to just like get my I don't know. I try to just make if I'm gonna make a video on it, I just try to get my own opinion first, like
I do
without
that as well. Yeah.
messing with anyone else's stuff just yet. But as a fan of bodybuilding, I watch it almost everything, because I love hearing people's opinions.
we
Yeah.
touching on the Tampa? We're not touching on the Tampa.
We've gone on way too long. I have a court date.
You actually?
No.
I was gonna say
No.
He's dressed all nice.
I've decided to start dressing up for the podcast to differentiate myself between all my other guests.
Well, I got a Hartford Whalers t-shirt.
I still need to get. I looked at backdrops, Mark. I know we've talked about. I've looked for backdrops, and they're not that expensive. Like I found one company that does them like $55 or something like that. I was like, oh, I can do that.
What, like a backdrop for your room or something?
Yeah, well, it's
Or
going to be
YouTube
portable, so I can do it
channel.
anywhere. But
I was
yeah,
gonna say I would just get a green screen, get a stand-up green screen, and then design your own background. It would look much cooler.
Zoom just goes to shit when I do that.
Well, then, like I said, you can stream on you do
Discord. We could do Discord. Mark
Telling
doesn't
you-
even know what that is.
Well,
I don't
you
know
can-
what that is.
You can stream like
Don't
they have
don't do it. Be old school, Dylan. Be old school.
We're gonna do a radio interview on the phone.
radio interviews crazy. Or
Yeah,
I mean,
get yourself a trophy like that, a Jay Cutler quad stomp trophy.
I thought about getting. I did. Jay Cutler sells autographs of his quad stomp for like $30 on his website. I thought about. I need to like placard the wall with some of those. I've seen Dorian's. I thought about buying some of Dorian's. Even someone like James Hollingshead, because I'm a big fan of James. I've seen him on his website. Derek has some memorabilia like that. I should just start
You like
collecting them.
Hollingshead, eh?
Yeah, I don't like him personality wise anymore.
What?
I called him a pussy on one of my other podcasts.
Well,
I don't like his physique personally. Just from
It's
a
an
fan.
acquired taste.
No, I won't lie to you. Narrow
I like
structure.
Ian.
I love Ian. No, yeah, but they're not in the same league.
No,
I
they're
feel like-
not.
Kind of.
But
Sort
kind
of.
of.
well, they're
same.
in the same vein. Like they don't have their genetics are not good. Let's make that clear. But
So,
They can get peeled.
they remind
Can.
me of Dorian Yates, or like a Tom Platt, someone that isn't genetically gifted but always preaches about the hard work side of things.
Ian reminds me of Dorian Yates. James
Front lat
Holland
spread too.
trying to
Really?
be Dorian Yates.
No cab.
Oh please! Oh, but what about the Cavs? What about the Cavs? I was born in
Yeah.
1981 or whatever. I don't. Chris Dickerson had calves.
No, but I don't know.
Can you say Tim's last name?
Budesheim.
Yeah,
All right.
that's what it is.
Budesheim.
I went on a little tangent there in my video because people can't say it. They call him
Yeah.
Budashim.
Nah,
And I
clearly
say,
not. No, he's from
why
Germany.
do you call James? Do you don't call him James Hollingshed? Do you?
Well, that is his nickname. Sometimes maybe I might do that for fun.
No,
but
he's the Shed, but he's James Hollingshead.
Yeah.
He's not James Hollingshed. Well, that's just the exact same thing as calling Tim Budashim.
It matters where you're from.
Hollingshead. head. So Bootis, Tim Bootis, take a break, scratch
Heim.
your head. Heim.
Heim is a common suffix for last names in Germany, is it not?
I have no clue. To be
Yeah.
honest, I'm not that.
Hamburg in Hamburg, Germany.
Just in Hamburg? That's
Yes.
where the Heims are from.
Yes, that's why they call it hamburger.
Oh, okay. Well, I think that's gonna do it. That's gonna do it for this Dubai Pro recap. We did this last time. Rate the show out of letter grade. I don't need any comments. Give me a letter grade. Jake, you go first.
I'd say A.
Okay. Mark.
C.
Jeez. Jeez. Okay, I would say A as well, actually. So what does that average out to? Two A's and a C? What is that? Still A minus or whatever?
Good.
No, like a B plus.
B plus. Okay.
You guys, you surprised at my C?
Yeah,
Uh,
why okay, I guess I do want comments from you. Why do you?
The background blended in too much with the guys, and they were all the
But the
guys.
height.
The guys in the top three. I'm not done yet. The guys in the top three were already all qualified for the Olympia. So there was
Oh,
two factors that
no
brought it down to a
stakes.
C.
No stakes. Yeah.
That's brought it down to a C.
Oh, the
And
stakes were $100,000.
if Ruby, well, that's their money, not mine. But if Rubiel had a one, came in peeled, something like that, it could have bumped it up to a B, but it still would have had the background.
Yeah,
But
I agree with you,
Rubiel
Mark.
went in, would have got
That's
a B. Would have got a B.
I'd say that the C tier actually is pretty fair. I agree.
Damn.
I agree. Like I said A because I don't care as much that the guys are qualified or not. I just like to see the guys competing. And
Yeah.
I think that neckzilla really just brought the hype for me. But I agree. Background and stage stuff was all pretty mid. And a big thing that I think a lot of people are saying is good, which I said was good, but now I realize might have not been, was the fact that it was too fast, the show. You know, I kind of would like to have that hour at least, 2 hour at least break in between.
Yeah, I like to anticipate.
I'm sure the
Some
athletes
change
would like
things.
that too. And posing routines as well. I love the posing routines.
I think they
They
should
did
stop doing
routines.
most posing routines. I think top fives in each. That's it. No, none of the top 10 or anything. Top
At
fives,
the,
maybe even top threes.
at the
Didn't they do
Olympiad,
routines?
they did, but it was at the prejudging, and it was
No,
like,
it's not the same. It's the individual versus posing routines.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what's his name did a routine there with his head going back and forth. Couldn't stop
Well,
laughing.
well, they make you do your mandatories in that one. At least
that
you're
was his
supposed to.
mandatories when he was dancing like
You're
that.
supposed. The rules are you get 60 seconds and you do your mandatories. You can do whatever you want in that 60 seconds, but you have to hit those 8 mandatories.
That's why he placed fourth. He was dancing around like a fool.
Jake liked it. He clipped
I
it.
know he did. I know he liked it.
Yeah, I did. I was pretty happy. I was like, man, Chris Cormier back in the flesh. Or
That
Ronnie.
is-
Little tiny
Look at
head
my
on
dad
him.
go.
Bro said, look at my dad go. Is that
Anyway, we got it. We got to end it there. I'm being summoned to court. So that's going to do it
Good
for
luck
the.
to court.
Can you do the outro? I forgot you're here.
I'm no good at them anymore. Ladies
Oh,
and
yes.
gentlemen, this has been a. Oh my God, my goatee's gone.
Yeah, I don't know. Did you take it off? I just looked up and it fell off.
I ate it.
That's what I thought happened. I think I saw that out of the corner of my eye.
Yeah, a little kind of like slurped it up like a.
Like some spaghetti.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Jake,
Episode
would
9.
you like to do the outro?
let me do it. This is episode 19, right?
Yep.
All right, guys. Episode 19 is
That
finished.
sucks. We're done.
All right.
So rude.
I'm
So
kidding. I'm
rude.
kidding. Go.
That is so mean. All right. Well, another beautiful day here on the podcast with your host, Jake Ultimate Fitness,
That's not true. That's fake news.
Marks Max Muscle, and our guest from Project Bodybuilding. I enjoyed interviewing you, Dylan, and I'm sure Mark shares very similar sentiments. And I think that we covered everything that I wanted to. Maybe Dylan didn't get to cover everything he wanted to,
Okay,
but I think for the 19th podcast, it marks the best one yet.
two
and I'm
more.
happy- Two more to get to the 21 mark, which puts you into the top what percent?
1%.
1%
Puts
for
us all in. You guys are the most reoccurring guests.
Yeah, so I can't wait for my podcast to get to that 21 mark because I'm going to be very happy.
It is your podcast at this point.
Mine. Project Jake Ultimate Fitness. And yeah, looking out
Project.
is
Can you hurry up? Jesus.
yep. So I was gonna say, episode 19, it's come to an end. Very Mark, any final remarks for Dylan, our guest?
Now that Jake has passed the buck to me to end this excruciatingly long ending,
Yeah.
thanks for having me on, Dylan, who's the real proprietor of this episode. And Jake, always a pleasure with
Antics.
your precise way of talking when you talk your videos. You have a good way of ending your sentence, and it's
Yeah, not on here though. Not on here. I have to
yeah. I
lock
heard
in.
you do it a couple of times. I heard you do it a couple of times earlier by mistake. The way you
Yeah,
end the sentence.
I have to do it like that. I don't even know how I do the voice.
Are we done here?
Yep. All right, episode 19.
Jeez.
Thank you, Dylan. I would like to
Peace
say
out,
thank
guys.
you very much for being here as well. Thank you for being on my podcast.
Okay, you said thank you maybe 30 times.
Subscribe to Project Bodybuilding. It would make his day. Very
It
close.
would.
3,000 and coming up on that 10,000 subscriber mark. Subscribe to Mark's Max Muscle. He's very close to 100,000 subscribers. And Jacob Fitness is very
He's
close
very
to
close to a million.
Yep. Almost at the million mark. So please
$1 million.
subscribe to all three of us because we are the three best bodybuilding channels right now.
I agree.
So yeah, thank you, Dylan.
Of course.
That's it. That's all I have to say.